A number of years ago, I worked for a welding company, and one of the trucks in their fleet was a '95 F250 which they purchased second hand and fitted with a shop-built ladder rack. More recently, I wanted to replicate this truck in miniature, and Monogram's F250 Super Duty pickup was a reasonably close match. The kit itself was about a 92, and the truck is a 95. This was a compromise I was willing to live with. Modeling the pickup was quite straightforward and only required minor changes to the kit. These consisted of removing the trim along the lower portions of the body, replacing the spoked wheels with a set taken from Revell's GMC pickup with snowplow kit, and using mirrors from one of AMT's late 90s F150s. The real fun was replicating the welding truck components, starting with the ladder rack, which was made from evergreen 60 thou square strip with the corners rounded off to represent the 1.5-inch square tube used to build the real ladder rack. Don Mills Model's tread plate was used for the platform above the cab, and K&S expanded aluminum was used for the screen behind the cab. Completed ladder rack was painted silver and then treated with an overspray of Tester's dull coat to simulate the dull grey finish that galvanized metal takes after a couple of years exposure to the weather. A combination of evergreen styrene I-beam tube and strip was used to create the extension ladder. Hard hats are a must on any construction site, and this one is a resin detail part painted orange and decorated with a variety of spare decals. The road map and Ford Trucks book are resized pictures printed on white decal paper and applied to small pieces of styrene sheet. A photo of the real truck's door lettering was used to create decals with an inkjet printer on clear decal paper. Inkjet printed decals do have limitations because the ink is not very opaque, but they will work well when applied over white or a light colored surface. Styrene shapes were used to create ratchets for the tie-down straps, which are made from masking tape and fitted with bent wire hooks. We used oxypropane cutting equipment, so a propane tank was scratch built from styrene tube and sheet, with red and green light gauge wire used to simulate torch hose. The tarp is folded from brown craft paper. Oxygen cylinders are nicely done detail parts in resin from an unknown manufacturer. I found these on a vendor table at a show a number of years ago. Welding cables and extension cord were some of the easiest detail parts to make, and also the most accurate, because they're simply lengths of stranded wire in the appropriate gauge and color formed to shape. Covers over the welding cable holders were installed on the real truck to prevent theft, and were modeled on the miniature version with styrene sheet, with short sections of styrene rod used to represent the hinges. Toolbox is the one provided in the 1934 Ford pickup kit, which is around in both AMT and Lindbergh versions. 5-gallon pails were scratch built from styrene tube and brass wire, and both were decorated with a variety of decals from the spares box, mostly from the model railroad selection in different scales. License plates were printed on white decal paper and applied to thin shim brass. This way, damage that the real plates had sustained over the years could be easily replicated on the model. Toolboxes were constructed using small pieces of styrene tread plate with styrene rod hinges and bent wire handles. The welding machine is represented with a styrene box of the proper size and contour, and the canvas cover was made from brown craft paper, painted flat red, and weathered with dark washes. Thanks for joining me for a look at this model project, which was a fun change of pace from the usual tractor-trailer rigs that I like to build.